Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to Learners Podcast. This is going to be a very interesting example for you, and you will see it. This is a basic, you can say, human computer model, HCM. All right. And with this model, believe it to me, you will learn basic functionality of the computer. And one thing is very important, that these functionalities are throughout the computer world. All types of the computer in which there is a microprocessor, MPU. When we say the computer, now one word, no, you are knowledgeable enough that when we say the computerized, anything is computerized, it has got basically a CPU in it. Okay, it has got the MPU and the memory, internal memory in it. That capability make it the processing device. I mean to say a computer device. So anything which is computerized all around the world, that has this basic functionality. And for us to understand this basic functionality is very important, and that is the basics of your programming. Okay, so this is a computer model, and this computer model is going to perform some operations. First of all, I want to tell you and discuss another very important thing with you, and that is every computer performs some basic operations. Suppose, like for example, in the case of the calculators, if we press 1 and then we press plus, and then we press 2 and then we press 3, enter 3, and then we press the plus and then enter 4, okay, and then plus equal, what would happen? It will give us the result 10. On the calculator, you say 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 and so on. Basically, computer, what the calculator kind of a computer, you can say it has got the microprocessor in it as well. So which helps you, I mean to say, you provide it the information and you give it the command in the form of the plus sign, okay, and it execute the results for you. It never happens that in place of 10 it gives you the 20. If it does so, you will say this computer calculator is not working properly. Like you give it another number, you say 2 plus 3 plus, you can say, a 5 or minus 8. Okay, it will give you the 5, 3, 8, 9, 10 minus 8 is equal to 2. Okay, so this is basically, you can say, generally, I mean, so these electronic devices performs in this way. So this computer model that I am going to show you, this is also a very basic. Suppose it has the ability to do some basic level of the work like this that I am telling you. And for your convenience, we are assuming that this computer model is able to perform, I mean, so to say, a mathematical operation in which if we provide it the 4 numbers, okay, it gives you the result. Like if you give it the 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4, it will give you the 10 as a result. So this particular machine that I have shown you, okay, this model is only able to add 4 numbers. I am not going in detail, just to make you understand what is the basic functionality of the computer are. Okay, so for this you have to learn it. As you know, computers are devised. I mean, so they are invented by the humans. So the functionalities of the human thinking is added into it. Okay, so inside what computer is doing, so first we need to understand the process, like how we add the 4 numbers. If you practically do what we do, we just first add 2 numbers and put its results. Like for example, if we add 2 numbers like 1, we say 2, we have the 3 and we have the 4. What we do, we add 2 numbers, first 2 numbers. You got my point? We take its result and put that result in our mind, and then we pick next number and then add these 2 numbers and put their results in our mind, and then we pick next number and then add these 2 numbers, and we get the result in the form of the 10. So basically we do in the steps. We first, at one time, we are not adding all these numbers at one time. We are adding first 2 numbers, then with we add the result with the next number, Then we add the result to the number after that, and we get the result in the form of the whatever the the operation we are performing. If it is addition, it will give up us the result according to that. Okay. Even in the case of the two numbers, when we add two numbers like 2, we have to say 2 and 3. How we teach our younger, to the kids how to add two numbers, three numbers, these two numbers. What we do is, to say how we do it, we just draw two lines here, and just for these three, we draw three lines. Okay. And then we add these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We say the sum of these two numbers is 5. And if we have to subtract these two numbers, 3 minus 2, what we do? We draw three lines, and we draw two lines, and we draw 1, 2, and we subtract these two lines, and whatever is left, we say it is 1. This is the basic methodology. So same procedure this computer device that I have shown you is going to do for you. Okay, so I hope you have learned what I mean to say. So this computer is basically adding four numbers: A, B, C, and D, and it will give you the result in the form of the E. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to explain you this model. This is a person. I'm going to highlight few important things in this model. This is a person brain which thinks, which understands, like in the case of the calculator, when you press 5, how the calculator knows that you have to perform the addition operation. When you press minus, it executes the subtraction operation. When you press the multiplication sign, it executes the multiplication. Okay, what it means, it has got some basic capability in it that has been added into it. That is, for example, you can say this computer has also that basic functionality, and that functionality is, it has got the ability that in which it can understand what is 1. It understands the difference between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It understands that 2 is greater than 1 and 3 is less than 4. You got my point? It knows how to do the basic arithmetic operation like addition and the subtraction, like multiplication and the division. So this person knows how to do these basic, mathematical operation. It knows what are the two numbers, what are the different numbers. Okay, it knows which is the greater than and which is the less than. It means it can perform the arithmetic and logic operations. Okay, as you have seen in the model, there is a device that is called the ALU. Okay, arithmetic and logic unit. That is basically this kind of you can say a device that has the ability to do some basic arithmetic and logic operation. So this is clear for you. This is a human who has the ability to do these operations, and this machine is capable of adding four numbers. Okay, this is another device. This is number 1. I am putting it number 1. There are two other devices. One is this one. This is the number 2, and this is number 3. These are the two pockets on its front. Okay, this is the left pocket, and this is the right pocket. All right, this is the left pocket, and this is the right pocket. Okay, there is a table in front of this person, and on this table there are the 4 and 5 different you can say a compartment or components. One is this clock, CLK. This is very important to understand. This clock has the basic functionality. When you press the button, it starts ticking. Okay, and it completes its cycle. Suppose let's say we say that it complete in 1 minute time. Okay, just as in because it is human, so we will talk with reference to the human abilities. So this clock ticks. So job of this clock is basically give the signal to this gentleman. Okay, that time has started. You have to complete the task in the 1 minute time. So 1 minute stops. It stops this person to to perform, to act further. Okay. Then again, this is kind of the whistle. It bells the whistle, and when it bells the whistle again, you have to stop. So you have to execute the operation within that specific time. Okay, whatever you do, because this is the mind, human mind, that is executing all the things it knows. So how this person is going to perform these operations? Okay, whatever be he has to perform, he has these. This is the device number 4. He has these arms, left arm and the right arm. Okay, left arm and the right arm. This is the device number 5. This is called the, you can say, he has got his control unit kind of a thing, in which he is able to press this button. He is able to put something in these pockets. He is able to think. Okay, he is able to access this something in this part. He is able to reach this part. He is able to like he can take his hands to all these parts of this on the things that are placed on the table. So he has got the hands to execute the things. All right, whatever command is, whatever order is given to him, he has the hands to perform all those operations. Got my point? So it's the kind of the, you can say, in the MPU there is a control unit. So we understood what is ALU and what is the control unit. Now we are going to see what is going to happen, how it will perform. Okay, what is this? The 4 numbers that you want to add, suppose we want to add 1, 2, 3 and 4. These 3 and 4 numbers are written on this. This is a tray. This is a tray. Okay, we say it's the input tray. We say it input tray. There are the 4 numbers, 1, 2, 3 and 4. That suppose these numbers we want to add, they are written on it. There are pieces of papers on it, the chits, you can say, or the cards, we just write the 4 numbers on it. Okay, when it performs the operation, like in the case of calculator, when you complete one operation, you can add another sum, you can do another question. So like this. So for one question, we have, for this particular, right now we want to add 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, this is another tray. We say it's the output tray. And this tray has also pieces of paper in it. But these are blank sheets, and there is a pen placed along it, and so you can write something on it when the time is required. And he will do this with his hands. Okay, the control unit. Okay, to another important thing. This is another box, you can say, in which there are the cards, pieces of cards, you can say a deck of cards. Okay, there is something written on it already. There is something written permanently. You cannot remove that thing. Okay, and we say it, some commands are written, some instructions are written, something to do, whatever he has to perform. When the clock will start ticking, he will get these commands from this tray. Okay, so this is the first starting point for this computer to get the command. Okay, so whatever is in this thing, in this box, that is the, you can say, is the kind of the written instructions that this program is going to execute. Okay, this is a kind of the whiteboard in front of you, in which there are the boxes, and these boxes are something in which you can write something. You can write A, you can write 2, you can write 4, you can write anything in it, and you can also have the ability to remove these things. Okay, but this is larger in size. It is much larger than the number of things that can be stored in this components. Okay, so now just very quickly review this. This is the human model. It has got the different things. This is the person who is sitting in front of the computer, in front of the table. On the table there are the 5 devices. One is the clock. Okay, and another is the input tray. One is the output tray. There is a box in it which has got the written deck of cards. Something is written on each card, and he will take the instruction from this box. And this is an empty box. This is a kind of the whiteboard where he can write something, and he can also erase this thing. And this is much bigger in size than this trap. This this device. This person has the 3 important the components. One is his brain, where he can do the arithmetic logic operation. He has the 2 pockets in front of it, where he can store small things, and he has got the arms by which he use follow these instructions. Okay, he not only read these instructions, plus also execute these instructions. Okay, that's clear. Now I am going to start the operation. Okay, so one by one, suppose there are 10 instructions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so on instruction. These are the instructions written on this card. For our convenience, we just write these instructions here. Okay, so first he is pressing the first button presses, clock start ticking. All right, what he will do, he will just take his arm, he will just pick the first card, and he will just read the instruction written on this first card. Okay, because our purpose is to add the four numbers, we will follow the same procedure that I have explained you. Then let's execute the first instruction. When the first clock tick will start, it will pick the first card, okay, from the input tray, and read that card and read the instruction written on it and execute that instruction within that 1 minute time. Okay, so first instruction, first pick up the first card. On the first card it is written that pick the first number from the input tray and put it into your left pocket. This is the left pocket and this is the right pocket. So he will execute within this time by picking the first number from the input tray and put it into the left pocket. Clear? After this, he will pick the second card, second clock cycle will start. You got my point? And in it, what is written, that pick the second number, okay, from the input tray and put it into the right pocket. As I told you, when you add 1, 2 plus 3 plus 4, what we do is first we add 1 and 2. So in the third attempt, in the third time, when the third time the clock will start, he will pick the third card. In the third card, he will read the instruction. It is written that pick the third card, okay, and read the instruction on it, okay, and follow the instruction. And on the third card, it is written that add the numbers in the left and the right pocket. Add the numbers in the left and the right pocket and put the result in the left pocket. So what it will do is, it is going to put the result, and which is the 3 in this case here. So you have added 1 and 2, result is 3, and he has put this result in the left pocket, because we are no more required this 1 and 2. Okay, we have got its result because we are adding. Okay, after this, the fourth instruction will be executed. In the fourth instruction, it would be written that pick the next number. What you are going to do is, you are going to pick the next number, okay, and then you are going to add these two numbers again. So next instruction would be pick the next number from the input tray and put it into the right pocket. Again, you have to remove the previous one because you are no more required that number. So you will put the next one, and that is the another 3. This 3. Okay. So this is the instruction number 4. In the instruction number 5, again the cycle will start, and then you will pick the fifth card. On the fifth card, it is written add these two numbers, okay, and put the result into the left pocket again. So this time you are going to put the result of these two numbers. All right. So after that, the next card would be card number 6. In this, you will find that pick the next number and put that number into the right pocket, and that would be going to be the 4 in this case. This one plus 4, and then add these two numbers. And the 5th, 6th, 7th instruction would be add the number in the left and the right pocket and put the result here in this place. Okay. So 7th instruction would be add the numbers in the left and right pocket and put the result here, because you have completed your task. And the instruction number 8 would be whatever is written here, okay, before closing your job, write that number here. And after this, computer will finish that task. Operation is completed. Now you are ready, or another user is ready to do another calculation. That might be you change the number to 3, 4. Okay, you might change the number with it. I have just shown you the mechanism how the computer has added the 4 numbers. Okay, what are the role of these different, these devices in it? What is the role of clock? What is the role of arm in it? What is the role of these pockets? What is the role of this? And what is the role of this basket and all these things? Now I am going to explain you all in a very, quick manner. All right. What we have seen, I am going to write here. We have come across the CPU. CPU has got the ALU. It has got the CU. It has got the clock. It has got the registers. Okay, it has got the RAM and it has got the ROM. All right, and as a whole, after this, there is an input unit if you see in the computer, and there is an output unit. So first of all, I just clear where is the input unit and where is the output unit. I hope that you could have understood this input tray is something that is meant to give the information to the computer, that is the input unit, kind of the keyboard. Clear? We are just going to draw a line here in front on the top of it. We're just separating this device from the other devices. Okay, that is the input. We have separated the input unit. Input unit, and we have cleared it. And this something is the final result that has shown and written on it, that is a kind of the output unit. It may be the monitor, it may be the sound, it may be whatever. So now we are clear that input and output, and this is the functioning of the input and output that you have just seen. This something is meant to give the, the operands, and this something is to put the results in it. Clear? Okay. Now where is RAM and the ROM? This is called the RAM, part of the internal memory, and this is called the ROM. So you can understand ROM is something which is the internal memory which have some permanently written information on it. That may be the instruction, small programs by which this computer knows how to execute, what to do and what not to do. All right. So this is the ROM. So ROM has got the permanent kind of the memory inside the computer. You cannot remove the data written on it. Okay. This has been written by the factory. Only a normal user from the keyboard cannot erase it, cannot change its data. If you want to change for that, you have to send the computer that device to the company that has built that computer. So in other words, for the programmer, this is not possible. So that is why we say it's the permanent memory. Okay, that is the ROM. And this is smaller in size. This is not much bigger in size. When you turn on the computer, you might have seen that every time there are some words that are written on the screen in the beginning. Okay, those beginning the basic input output system, those routines are to show. They are the small programs before the start of the computer. They check all the devices. So those kind of things are generally written into these computers, these laptops I'm talking about. So anyhow, right now we are not concerned with that. We are concerned that this is the ROM. This is the that is the permanent part of the memory. Okay, next one is the RAM. RAM means the random access memory. It's random mean we randomly access, you can access it. For example, you have the 10 questions to solve. The first question you will the result here, then you put the result here, then you will the result here. Might be if this slate completes, you might erase this one, and again you start writing the new results. Okay, you start writing the results of the new. So in this way, this is something kind of the whiteboard where you can store the data, you can permanently delete, you can delete it. So this is a random access memory. Technically speaking, these both are basically their functioning is a random access. But this can be, can be done by the user, but this cannot be done by the computer programmer or the computer operator. All right. So this has got the permanent behavior as long as the computer is on. And this has got that temporary period. Once you turn off the computer, all the data written on the RAM is finished. Okay, that is why whenever you work on the Word and Excel, you say it's better to save your work before leaving the computer. Okay, is it clear? Okay, now we are moving to the. Okay, I also separate this one, and for that I use another color. So I think I do it again for you. This one and this one. These are the input and output devices. Okay. All right. And this one, if you separate this part, and this ROM and this RAM. This is called the internal memory. Okay, these two are the ROM and these are the RAMs. So what is this? This is whole, including all these things, these ARM, these pocket, this set, and these are the MPU. Okay, ALU, this is ALU, control unit, these arms act like a control unit, clock, this clock, and these are registered, these are the pockets. So you can very quickly understand that ALU means a device inside the MPU that performs the arithmetic logic operations. Okay, control unit is a device inside the computer which is highly technical device. Advanced technology is used which is meant to operate the control the whole. I mean to say it can access all the components of the CPU of the rather the computer system. It can access the RAM, it can access the ROM, it can access the keyboard, it can access the monitor. Okay, it can access everything. It's a kind of the arms of the computer. All right, just keep this logic, develop this logic in the mind. The next one is the register. These are the temporary pockets. If you have to solve the question every time you have to pick the data from here and then calculate it, it would be difficult. It would be time consuming. You have to take, because we have to develop the efficient program. We have to make the computer fast. So what the computer does, whatever work it is currently performing, you just put that work inside the MPU, inside the microprocessor, and it's stored there. So it needs some memory location for that to work with. So these are the registers. So there are many types of registers in the MPU. Okay, I'm not concerned. I'm not teaching you the assembly language that I teach you the 14 types of the register. No, just remember all the registered, all the memory locations. Okay, they are meant to store the things which are required by the MPU to work at a different stage. So as a programmer, all you need is to know is that these are the small memory locations on it. Okay, clear? So this is the basically with this model. I hope that you have understood what this computer, how this computer is working. So if you just revise it, if you are it is difficult for you, just watch it again. I will also make this I will send you in the form of the notes in the blog. All these steps I will write it very clearly so that you can read it afterwards, so that you can understand the functioning of these basic units of the computers. If I now draw the basic computer model, input unit, output unit, RAM and the ROM, ALU, control unit, clock, registers. Okay, now I hope you can understand what the computer is working. There is another device that is shown to you, that is external storage. I haven't discussed in that model, just to avoid the complexity of this, but that is very much understandable. You are familiar with the hard disks. You are familiar with you can say these USBs. Okay, so these are the devices that are meant to store your work. Okay, you can carry these devices. You can put the USB in your hand. Okay, I have got one here with me right now. Just to show you, these are the, you can say this is the kind of the USB. Okay, and this is the one of the external hard disk I'm just keeping to back up my data. Okay, so these are the devices. Basically these are the external storage devices. You can carry it, you can keep it, so in case of emergency you can save the data. Might be your computer start malfunctioning, its hard disk can be corrupt, can become corrupt. So what would you do? You will lose the data. So we just keep the data saved onto the external devices. And one of the advantage of these external devices, they are large in size. They can contain a large amount of the data. Similarly, if you are familiar with the Google Drive can also store large amount of data. So these are the external storage devices, external storage places where you can keep your data stored. All right. Okay. Yes. One thing is left. There is the concept of the main memory of the computer. You know, when you go to purchase the laptops and when you purchase this mobile, you say, what is the RAM of this computer? Okay, so basically we are, you know that if the RAM is bigger in size, it will help you to run your machine very I mean to say very quickly. Okay, so RAM is basically the main memory of the computer. Keep it, remember. Okay, now I'm giving you some technical details. Basically, when the computer starts, the computer basically learned the first device that the computer, I mean to say, access this MPU access the through its control unit is the ROM. Okay, as you have seen in the model. Okay, ROM is the basically the instruction starting point is basically, so when the computer starts, all the things which are written in the RAM that are being stored that are brought here in the ROM in the RAM. Okay, the place is allocated for the system memory. You say the system memory that become the part of the RAM, and from here it start learning what are the instructions. This is actually what happens inside the computer. Okay, and then when it says, like for example, when you turn on the computer, what happens is, okay, for this I just open this one. If you say make, for example, this is the kind of the RAM. So when you start the computer, whatever is in the ROM, it comes into the, this is the RAM, it comes into this part of the ROM. That's so this ROM is basically come into the RAM and become the, this is called the system memory. Space is given in the RAM to store the system. Okay, if this RAM, when you start the computer, you know, it starts the windows automatically, but not all the parts of the windows are there. All right, something is stored into the, you can say, into your C drive, and that is a hard disk. Okay, like your all the you can say your Windows, if you are dealing like I'm dealing with the, I'm having the Windows 10 here or Windows 8. So I am all the windows in my hard disk. That is an external auxiliary storage outside that is placed inside that. So next is, if I am next thing is what computer does is that it picks the windows and that it also take it to the ROM, to the RAM. Then second part is it brings the operating system in it. But it doesn't mean that the whole the window, I mean to say, only that part of the window or Windows or the operating system that is required to run this machine. All right. So whenever it required any routine, it again go there and access it and then again places back. So this is what the job of the operating system it, and what the operating system it I will show you in my next lecture. Okay, right now just understand the RAM. So actually the RAM is the your main memory, and ROM, first when the computer starts, everything which is required to run the computer comes into the RAM, and that becomes the system part of the memory. That is the system part, and then comes the user part. Okay, and even in the not only the window, even sometime you have, if you are using MS Window, MS Office, so that part of the program also comes into this part. Okay, that is the programming part of the RAM. So this is whole becomes the unaccessible by the users. For the user, all the remaining part, which is the larger part of the RAM, that becomes the available for the user. So whenever you work on the RAM, you work, the users are working this part on the user area of this RAM. Okay, and as a programmer, this is very important. You are going to see from the next onward when I will say RAM. So I will be concerned with this part of the whatever program as a programmer you will run, you will make in this part of this RAM. Okay, whatever you store, whatever you delete, that is this part of the RAM. And when you computer turn off, you have to, before turning off, you have to remove it or you have to store that. Okay, this is very important concept that you have to learn today. Okay, so we have learned the basic model of the computer. We have learned the basic, you can say, the operations of these components of the computers, and we have at the end we have understood the importance of the RAM. So RAM is the, in other words, if concluding all the today's session, that RAM is the basically that component of the CPU that we are the programmer are mostly concerned with. Okay. Yes, we are concerned with the different, I mean to say, registers as well, different. So we are basically dealing with the memory components. Okay, so we have to manipulate the memory. We have to do all these things. So how we will do it? For that, we will have to enter into the software side of the computer. So from inshallah ta'ala next onward, we are entering into that, and that is the end of the hardware today. No more hardware we are required to learn. Okay, the next lecture would be on the software side of this. Okay, and that will be help us to develop our first, you can say, the first program. All right. So thank you very much. Please participate in the discussion of this video. Also, I will be giving one assignment with this video. If there is any question, you may also write it in the comment. So I will be happy to answer those questions related to this topic. Thank you very much. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.